Ugh. Okay, there are books literally everywhere. Just everywhere, all around me. First and foremost, I need to get a drink other than water because I'm a drink girly. Okay, now that we're back and we have my greens, which, by the way, thank you to Bloom Nutrition for sponsoring today's video. I've been drinking their greens, honestly, for about a year now. I think it was last March that I started drinking Bloom Nutrition to help with my bloating. I have very bad digestive issues, and this really helps me with that. If you guys are interested in trying Bloom Nutrition's Super Greens, which is what I drink every day, you guys can go visit the link down in my description. Thank you to Bloom Nutrition for sponsoring today's video. This is our drink of the video. Should this be a new thing that I do? Drink of the video? We'll see. Let's get into this. As a lot of you will know, I disassociate a lot to my playlists. I am somebody that makes a lot of playlists. I listen to a lot of Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, Gracie Abrams, The Neighborhood, The Wallows, and I like to disassociate to songs and think about the books that I read. The characters just feel too real to not disassociate to certain songs. So I kind of came up with this idea where I told you guys to tell me your favorite song, and I'm going to try to come up with a book recommendation based off that song. So basically, the song makes me think of this book. So I asked you guys over on my Instagram, which is your video reminder to be following my socials, that way you are kind of in the loop with these things. I have a bookstagram, I have a personal Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have everything. It's always down in the description. You can follow anything you want or don't. That's fine too. But I asked you guys to tell me your favorite songs, and basically I took kind of what was the most that I saw, or just some that I absolutely like knew a book that just stuck out to me, and that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, I just lost my phone again. I literally just lost my phone before I started filming this video, and now I just lost it again. Okay, so I have the list on my phone. First of all, we are starting off on a high note when we are going to be talking about Late Night Talking. We're gonna be talking about Late Night Talking by Harry Styles. The vibe of this song kind of just gives me the vibe, you know, the lyric. We've been doing all this late night talking, anything you want until the morning. Now you're in my life. I wish I could sing, because like that would make this video a lot more interesting. But it's basically kind of just more of like an upbeat song, I feel like, on to the relationship of getting to know somebody. I actually have two books that kind of reminded me of this. And first of all, we have The Fine Print. Now some of you guys might be like, there is like a certain kind of trope that happens in this book that really reminds me of the we've been doing all this late night talking about anything you want till the morning. So there's kind of like a part in this book that is kind of not like thrown in there, but you don't really expect when you're going into it that you get, and it's like, I feel like it's a fun little storyline, and I feel like it gives off that vibe. We have this one, and then we also have the Bad Reputation duet, because I couldn't not do something from the Addicted Calloway Sister series, and specifically with Willow and Garrison, their whole entire like how they know each other and how they get to spend time with each other literally just gives me the vibe of Late Night Talking by Harry Styles. This is actually bind up of the two, so it is Whatever It Takes and Wherever You Are. So for the second book, the beginning of the song, things haven't been quite the same. There's a haze on the horizon, babe. It's only been a couple of days and I miss you. Because once you get into the second book, you understand like why that storyline is there. I've never been a fan of change, but I'd follow you to any place. Like this whole entire song really reminds me of Willow and Garrison, and it is a part of the Addicted series. So if you are looking for another little, I'm going to call it a hole to escape into within the Addicted series, the Bad Reputation duet is for you. Okay, next we have Love Story by Taylor Swift. And Love Story by Taylor Swift is kind of the forbidden romance trope, where there's something forbidden about it. There is a force that is keeping the two love interests apart. There's something that's happening where they just cannot be together. Of course. Finding and Keeping 13. There is something in this book, there's literally, it's more prominent in the second book, where there's like literally the lyric, you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles, and my daddy said stay away from Juliet. Hits actually a little bit too close to home, and I was crying on the staircase begging you, please don't go. If you have read these two books, please go listen to Love Story, because when I made this connection, I was like, I will never listen to this song the same. I will never not listen to the song and not think about Johnny and Shannon. This one I just thought was funny and appropriate because of the show being out now and everyone talking about it right now. So somebody said that their favorite song was Jolene by Dolly Parton, and you cannot tell me that there are not certain characters that encapsulate. Jolene, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Like, we all know that iconic lyric. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Well, her eyes are blue, but you know. Your smile's like a breath of spring. Your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. Listen, he talks about you in his sleep, and there's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Tell me this isn't this book. I'm so happy somebody said The Great War. Well, just Great War, but The Great War by Taylor Swift. One of my favorite Taylor Swift songs literally ever. I love disassociating to this song, and I love listening to the song, and I always think about this book duology. But I literally cannot not recommend this duology for you guys. If The Great War is your favorite song and you want a good fantasy read, because I feel like The Great War, I really just associate it with anything fantasy because the stakes are higher. You know, the iconic lyric, somewhere in the haze, got a sense I'd been betrayed. The Dance of Thieves duology, which is actually Dance of Thieves and the Vow of Thieves. I read this duology last year and absolutely fell in love with it. I love Cassie and Jace, and this song is literally them. Also, just the fact that Great War is basically a song about being in a relationship with somebody, and because of past things, it's kind of hard to trust them, and that you don't trust very easily, and you kind of go on the defense very easily. This is literally them. Somebody said, would that I? And honestly, just the magicalness that I feel when I listen to Would That I really reminds me of a fantasy book that I literally just read this month. And that is Once Upon a Broken Heart, because the Once Upon a Broken Heart and Ballad of Never After, like these two books, specifically just the very magical vibe that you get from this book when you listen to Would That I by Hosier. It just encapsulates this book so incredibly well, especially when you listen to the way that they are described in the song and that the woman is described in the song. Hello, look at the main character. Literally describes the main character perfectly. If you are wanting a very magical, very Alice in Wonderland-esque book, very whimsical, very kind of fairy tale-esque. Somebody said Little Freak by Harry Styles, and we all know, you know, I was thinking about who you are, your delicate point of view, I was thinking about you. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlina. I feel like I don't talk about this book a lot. It takes place in New York in the 90s, and it is basically a kind of like then and now. You don't get a lot of the now timeline, but it's basically reminiscing on a relationship that they had, and literally the whole entire your delicate point of view, because the main girl in this book is a very delicate soul, and just the whole entire vibe of that song encapsulates this book so perfectly. So the next song that we have is Look at Us Now by Daisy Jones and the Six, because hello, I'm absolutely in love with that song right now. Like, it's one of my favorite songs. And this song, you know, if you have watched the show, if you have read the book, Billy basically writes this song about his wife, some of the stuff that he's been through with his wife, you know, wanting to have a better life. Basically a song about wanting to do better and reminiscing on a relationship and being like, but can we do better? That song is just such a strong song. If you want a rom-com-y vibe from the, you know, so emotional vibe, You Deserve Each Other, because this is a second chance romance and they are actually engaged, but they have basically kind of fell out of love with each other. They are no longer the people that they used to be, and then they are slowly kind of like rebuilding their relationship, but they prank each other. It's super cute, and I really love the banter in this book, and I love the relationship in this book, and just the whole entire everything about it. I feel like I don't talk about this book enough. The next song we have is Enchanted by Taylor Swift. Speak Now, that album was like my favorite album as a child. Specifically the song Enchanted, I have always been encaptured with. I've always loved that song. You know, it's like meeting somebody and thinking about them, and then they're like, you know, like, please don't be in love with someone else. I love that song. I love it. And it reminds me of the Summer I Turned Pretty series, but specifically, we'll always have summer. This is the third and final book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. This is a love triangle. So, of course, you know, I feel like Enchanted, even though it really is about two people, there's kind of this like ominous third person in the back, you know, like you don't know, you're like, I was so enchanted to meet you, please don't be in love with this person, please be in love with me, please come and knock at my door, that, you know. And I feel like that just is the vibe for this book. And also, if you haven't read The Summer I Turned Pretty, I feel like we're getting to the months where it's perfect to read it. So You need to read it. The next song we have is Young and Beautiful by none other than Miss Lana Del Rey. In a book that I feel like encapsulates this whole entire vibe of young and beautiful. You know, the whole entire question that it pegs, will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful? I know you will. Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. Listen, this book is about two people that are tackling huge mental things in their life. This book is very much a huge discussion on mental health and interpersonal relationships within mental health. The main woman character and the way that she is and the way that she thinks about relationships. It is absolutely perfect. It's been a while since I've read this book, but I remember today when I was sitting down staring at my bookshelves and I started listening to it, I just automatically, this book popped up in my head. The next song is also one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs literally ever. I listen to this song 3 times a day. I kid you not, I love this song so much. I can't not. Anytime it pops up, I literally can't skip it because I love it so much. And that is The One by Taylor Swift. Now, The One by Taylor Swift is definitely kind of like a right person, wrong time, but then you meet later on in life and you keep on meeting and you're kind of reminiscing on your relationship and you're like, you know, it would have been fun. You know, the greatest loves of all time are over now. All of the lyrics of The One, it's almost like a conversation between your former lover and you're like, it would have been sweet if it could have been me. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I feel like this is an infamous for this trope, and I feel like this is genuinely a conversation that Connell and Marianne would have. Even though I didn't absolutely live, breathe, love, and die for this book, I still feel like The One, every single time that I relate it to a book character, I always relate it to Connell and Marianne because it feels like they have done so much within their life to want to be the one for each other, but then, you know, not gonna spoil it. This one, you kind of have to stick with me for this. So the next song was Fine Line by Harry Styles, and Fine Line by Harry Styles I feel like is a very back and forth song. It's kind of a back and forth between two people, you know, like I like you, we're kind of doing good, we're kind of doing bad, and it's also kind of reminiscent at the same time. And I feel like when you really think about it, the Shadow Me series, I'm not gonna hold up the whole entire series, but the Shadow Me series between two characters, I feel like you get the big back and forth with him throughout a lot of the books where, you know, they're kind of trusting each other and then they're against each other and then they're trusting each other again and then they're kind of depending on each other and then they get ripped away and things start happening to them. I feel like if you have read the Shadow Me series and you love Fine Line, I feel like you guys are feeling, maybe you can understand the connection that I'm building between the two, but just the reminiscence, especially the lyric, you got my devotion but man, I can hate you sometimes. Tell me that's not the two characters. Okay, the next song that we have is none other than The Story of Us by Taylor Swift, which is such a good song. All of Taylor Swift's songs are amazing, but I really love The Story of Us because it's kind of about a relationship that is on the outs. So they aren't speaking to each other right now. They always maybe thought that they would be together, they would be in each other's lives. Oh, a simple complication, miscommunication lead to follow so many things that I wish you knew, so many walls up I can't break through. So again, literally says that in the song, miscommunications leads to fallouts, leads to us not speaking, I can't get through to you, we're not listening to each other. Now I'm standing alone in a crowded room and we're not speaking and I'm dying to know, is it killing you like it's killing me? I don't know what to say since the twist of fate when it all broke down and the story of us looks a lot like a tragedy now. And Sarah, if you're watching this video, you're gonna appreciate this. I feel like that is literally Magnolia Parks, even though I feel like there are so many Taylor Swift songs that can relate back to Magnolia Parks. This book is 100% about a toxic relationship. And it's not to say that Story of Us is about a toxic relationship, but huge miscommunications happen in this book. The two main characters have known each other literally like basically their whole entire life, and now they are kind of always on the outs. They're kind of always arguing back and forth. They're always like, we're not speaking to each other, we're kind of doing things to get back at each other, that sort of thing. And I feel like this song is literally them. Next we have none other than Something in the Orange by Bryan, which was my song of the summer last summer. This song is so deeply emotional and I feel like it is perfect for After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because when you think about it, Something in the Orange, the infamous lyric, something in the orange tells me we're not done. It's basically kind of a song about somebody who is left. It is written obviously from the male's perspective, and it is about the woman in his life that has left, and it's like, look, you know, something in the orange tells me we're not done, you know, you're reminiscing on it, I'm just a man, to me you're all I am. Where am I supposed to go? Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you're never coming home. You leave today, I'll just stare at the way the orange touches all things around. The grass Please turn those headlights around. It's literally about someone leaving, and that is exactly how After I Do Is. This is a story about marriage, and they are basically in a spot in their marriage where they feel like their marriage isn't working anymore, and so they decide to take a year away from each other, have absolutely no contact, to try to fix their marriage. And this is exactly how it feels when you were listening to the song. This is exactly how this book feels the whole entire time you're reading it between the two characters. It just rips your heart open, and absolutely just in the way that only Taylor Jenkins Reid can. Illicit Affairs is the next song, and you know, this song I feel like is literally about affairs. So because of that, we have Conversations with Friends, which I feel like I don't ever really recommend Sally Rooney books, and I recommended you 2 of them. If you love Illicit Affairs by Taylor Swift, then you need to read Conversations with Friends. Obviously, that's why I'm recommending it with this song. But just the storyline of this book between 2 characters, everything about it. And that's the thing about Illicit Affairs and clandestine meetings and longing stares. It's born from just one single glance, but it dies and it dies and it dies a million little times. You're on Your Own, Kid. Again, another one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs ever, and I just feel like it is very, especially the first part of it, listen to me tell you the lyrics and tell me that this is not absolutely perfect. Summer went away, still the yearning stays. I play it cool with the best of them. I wait patiently, he's gonna notice me. It's okay, we're the best of friends. I hear it in your voice, you're smoking with your boys. I touch my phone as if it's your face. I didn't choose this town, I dream of getting out. There's just one who can make me stay all my day. And then, of course, you know, the chorus, from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, I waited ages to see you there. I searched the party of better bodies just to learn that you never cared. Oh. And just the whole entire like song, as you go through the song, it's kind of, I feel like I always said like a coming of age in the song. You know, the first part you're like, oh, you realize this thing, and then it's kind of going through the hardships of life, and then at the end of the song you kind of get to the big conclusion, which is that, you know, like, make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You know, like, there's this freedom in being on your own, with Belly's obsession with one of the brothers, and then just the whole entire like learning about the feelings as it goes on, and learning to just kind of take everything on the chin and go forward. Next we have Sweet Nothings by Taylor Swift, which I actually love this song. I think this song is so sweet. All you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. And basically the whole entire song is just about, I feel like, a sweet relationship with a person who just wants nothing from you. They just love you without really any, you don't need to really like offer up anything to them. They just love you for who you are. And tell me that that is not Elliot. That is not Macy and Elliot from Love and Other Words. They say the end is coming. Everyone's up to something. I find myself running home to your sweet nothings. Outside the prison oven, you're in the kitchen humming. All that you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. His utter love and adoration for Macy always puts me on the floor. Listen, if you guys want your heart broken, the last song is Haunted by Taylor Swift. Come on, don't leave me like this. I thought I had you figured out. Something's gone terribly wrong. You're all I wanted. Come on, don't leave me like this. I thought I had you figured out. Can't breathe whenever you're gone. Can't turn back. Now I'm haunted. Go read this book and then go listen to Haunted, and then go listen to The Night We Met, and then go cry your eyes out like I did after I finished this book. I literally went and listened to Haunted and then The Night We Met after I read this book. Those are all of the songs that I have for you today, and all of the book recs I have for you today. I tried to pick a few new ones. I tried to pick some books that I don't talk about as often, even if they were books that I didn't relatively enjoy. I feel like if you love that song, then you would fairly enjoy those books. I just wanted to do a fun little video, a little sit down for us to do. I like doing sit down videos every once in a while, also to break up some vlogs and stuff like that. If you guys enjoyed, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff that you guys know how to do, and I will see you guys when I see ya. Peace.